Ladies and gentlemen, the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my shop, Turn Wright Machine Works. My name's Keith. I'm your host, and I'm here in front of this catch-all of raw stock here. I've gone through some aluminum. I'm working on steel now. I got bronze, stainless, and then I got some Delrin. This is just one of my catch-all areas, and you're right. I'm listening to the comments, and it's like, holy, crap. And yeah, it's a lot. But Turn Wright Machine Works is my baby. It always has been my baby. It's been the most important thing in life to me. Even back a little 11 years plus, when I decided to sober up, I felt it slipping between my fingers, and I straightened up my act and got it going. Some of you know that. Some of you are just learning it right now. It doesn't matter. So anyhow, I am unbelievably flattered, floored that the support has come in the way it has with my GoFundMe page there, and it is a blessing. I had what I thought was an adequate amount to move and maybe make it there and get it done. You saw my last video of what's got to go in there, and I've just come up against my first stumbling block, but it's not pushing me off the stool right now. Eversource, the power company, is probably not going to be able to get out and actually hook my three-phase up for a duration of time. I don't know how long that's going to be, whether it be a couple weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. And we're working, we're trying to find out that now. They'll jump over your back, their back, and they'll help you out if you have an existing line. But because they have to actually physically ensure the hookup of that three-phase there, it's a different ball game. Why? I don't know why. I don't know if it's bureaucrats or working shifts or what's important. I'm not an electrician, and I'm not in that field or line of work. But I just got that news yesterday. But I'm not worried about it because I'm able to now keep my electrical intact here in the shop, and I'm not going to have to cannibalize this place as far as power to help the next place for power. And I can keep this going. I can still service my customers that need my services. That's the most important thing right there, is to be able to sustain the duration that my customers need me. I want minimum downtime. Sure, there's going to be a week, maybe 2 weeks from the time that I actually got to clear the floor, scrub my machines, get them moved over, get them all set in where I want, leveled out, electrically hooked up, and ready to put the first piece of raw stock in it. That's just a given. But right now it doesn't. It's you got to take it with a grain of salt or whatever you want to call it. The funds actually take the stress load off of me, and I'm actually able to rationally think out and make this move count in every aspect. Customers happy, setting up my own accountant, and safely getting things over and doing it so that the hookup's a minimum and machines are clean, and I can probably even get a little bit of repairs done here and there. I also, in the comments there, I hear you're gonna find some of those missing treasures, and I said I have found a couple things that in boxes that I've grabbed that it was like a catch-all box where you got done with a job and you threw everything in there, and then you put it on the shelf out, and we're going to go out in the shelter here shortly because I've been working out there as well. And when it gets a little cold out there, I'm tired of the cold out there, I come in here and enjoy this. But what we're doing is we're kind of going through the raw stock, and I'm making a determine of what I want to keep and what I might want to just throw in the scrap. You know, some of this stuff has been in here before I even got the plasma cutter, and now a lot of flat sheets and flat stock, instead of being in bars and things like that where you used to just cut it off, or you hand torched it or whatever. But now I got sheets that go on there, and almost everything that I need is a plasma cutout item, and then you're just dressing it off. It'd be questionable, you know, what you keep and what you don't keep. But you also have a lot of little pieces, and you just kind of know what's going to be scrap, and you just got to get rid of it because you've been hanging on to it for so long you forgot you had it. At least sometimes in my case, you know. And some of the stuff is actually good, and I do have a couple other guys that sometimes I'll call them up and I'll say, hey, you want some of this stock? And a couple of them are artists and a couple other things, so they might want it. Other than that, I scrap out stainless, bronze, and aluminum. And but the steel I kind of give away if it's on a run and it's laying around. I'll put it on the truck and take it to the scrap yard. But other than that, I'll toss it mostly. So, but you do need small pieces that you can quickly go throw in the 3-jaw and whittle it out for somebody. Also, too, whenever you got a small piece, you try to write the alloy on there. If it's like cold roll 1018, I don't bother. But if it's 4340 or 4140 or, you know, any of the alloys there, 8620, I make sure it's marked in several different spots there. I'm not going to keep a piece of hot roll, you know. And there's aluminum. All right, so some things get spilled over into each other. And that almost looks, I got to grab a magnet because that almost looks like a piece of stainless. Yep, that piece of stainless. Yeah, a piece of pipe in here, didn't even know it was in there, it was so buried. You're gonna have to get some stuff. Piece of lead screw right there. A gear rack. Now, this gear rack's actually, it's got a lot of coloring down here and everything else. I've actually used this. This is perfect for the torch that I have, or actually an acetylene torch, and it was a perfect height, and it was nice. It was a comfortable length, and I used it a lot for just dragging out my straight line cuts. That's kind of why I've been hanging on to this. And I continue hanging on to it. All right. Oh, there we go. Larry Mahan's mask. I don't know how many years that is. Probably 2000. 1999, 98, 2000. I was doing a lot of work for Larry Mahan's, and I built his mast, the steel mast, and I had the exhaust going up through it. The main mast, this was diameter of the exhaust tubing there. Somebody might need that. I'm done with it. You gotta lighten your load. You only want to move things once. 2000 or so, I haven't used it. Don't need to carry it on into the 20s, right? I was looking for a piece of thread. Actually, I'm actually gonna make another bucket for threaded materials because I do need to have it on hand, and sometimes they do get buried into these cluttered areas, and Now, little pieces like this and rings like this, I'm going to be going through my rack that's in there by the hydraulic press. Hydraulic press is a tool, and it never fails that when you're pressing things in and out, sleeves, bushings, bearings, numerous, even doing some straightening and things like that, you need to have rounds. And I quickly will machine a round to perfectly support the lip or something of a housing that you're pressing out, a bearing or whatever. And having various sizes of rounds is very, very important. So there's a certain amount of stock that you just kind of keep around, so it's a chunk of slug that you can machine into something quickly to use as a press tool. And whether it be the arbor press or the hydraulic press, same thing. This is the reason why I got this. And here's a little shoulder in here. This was probably turned and then parted off, and it's a nice little register. Sometimes you just got to dress that up a little bit and you set it in there, but you still have access to pass through the bearing or bushing. You know, same thing with this little ring right here. Now, when the slug's getting somewhat short like this, they make good pushers and everything else, but I have a lot of pushers this diameter here. This one's already got a slot in it here. It was a cutoff pin for something. Keep that little slug. I'll go through this thing again. Same thing. Here's a just oddball cut, but it still has its purpose. Probably as a tool or a pusher, something like that. Alright, this is a piece of stainless steel, but it's kind of a junk piece. It's cut off of keyway and everything else. And I might have used it for pushing at one time or whatever, and I set it back down on here. Stainless is over here. When I get to that, I'll have different containers for that. I have a lot of these milk crates, and they have handles on them. So you can load them up and decide when it's heavy enough to carry or not. All right. Let's go check out that shelter now. The other day, my landlord brought over one of the skid steers so I could pick up machines and stuff like that. So the first thing we did the other day, my buddy Vince came over and he helped me, and we picked up Buffy and we moved it to the side so we could start working on there. I've already nailed together some pallets with some boards, and also pallets, and created crates so that I could load up some items to stay dry and be able to carry them over there and then stack these units up so they're not taking up floor space when we do get over to the new place. So, but basically we're kind of cleared out of all the junk and everything else. And this area here, I had a pile of wood. I have a couple more pieces there for firewood, but we're getting down on the firewood right here. So this area here is open to come in and out of the shelter right now. So let's head in there. All right, we basically got two bathroom cabinet type of thing here, kitchen cabinet, whatever you want to call it, just cabinets with a sink top, you know, type of thing. But they were sitting in here, and I wasn't really sure. They just ended up being storage where I had stuff inside, but they're all cleared out now, and there's just a shelf unit up here, and you know, nothing else. It's just all empty. And of course, I guess I got my snowblower here, and better take my finger out here. Okay. Now you can see that it's setting on a box, and then I have another one over there, and then this one here is a 3-footer. Now for right now, I just put some insulation and stuff in here. That far side, the 18 by 29 side of the building, of the new building there, has got uninsulated walls, and we need to create a barrier across the ceiling and create a draft in there between the sheet metal top so it doesn't sweat. Some of what we saw in the video there for that I posted was because the hot water heater burst a pipe, and some of the water went up there and went down, and then it generated moisture inside and then added to the dripping. Now I've gone through, and I used to have a lot of supplies in here for tile work and a lot of things. This is actually, I called this my Home Depot. Over here was brand new doors. There was a steel door, a fiberglass door. That's over at the other place already. I had a bunch of really high quality shingles and I went and I made sure that one of the buddies got that for working working on small odds and end jobs and things like that. I do have an Anderson window here and another old window back behind there. Still will find someplace for them. And I have some wood that's left over on the top here, and I have somebody that wants to claim that little bit of clapboard. But underneath that bench is my hard stock, or my steel stock table. So that table will be going over to the new building, so that my long lengths of rod, round stock, pipe, that kind of thing will sit into that, and I'll have the nice top on it. That's like a 32 by 8 foot table, but it has 3 or 4 bars going across it. So it and 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves heights in there. So it's a really good table to segregate your raw stock, and as long as you have a good end opening on it, you'll be able to slide your links out. I do like it. I brought it out here because I needed to dual purpose it, and I was clearing out to think I was going to do something in the shop, which never happened. Buffy now is over here, out of the way, just so we can come in and out of here. And I'm going to start going through those shelves, and those shelves will be taken out. These boxes I'm going to pre-pack, and then this is where the staging area is going to be for loading up all the stuff that's going over to the new building, plus my sandblast cabinets over there. The Enco saw is over here, but I'll be moving that around. That's just a pack of sport there, and a dresser underneath there. I do have a table saw, radial arm, and a band saw over there, and I'm undecided where those are going to be going. So this is actually slowly clearing out as well. I've been in here the last couple days. Carried out a lot of weight already. Okay, if you notice right here, there's no more Buffy. Buffy's all in a box. All right, everything that was underneath this table and everything that's on top here that had to do with Buffy was carefully packed up. Most of it was separated already and packed up. And of course, the main spindle, its bearings, and the other things that I had back up here on the bench, because this bench is about ready to be taken down and start opening up floor space in here. And this is my jig table underneath here that I've clamped down, toe clamped, and created rudders and struts and that kind of thing. So this table here, I'm ready to get it back into action as well. It's got a nice casters on it, and it rolls around. It's really nice. I went ahead and let's go around that way. Okay, the only thing that I had purchased so far for the surface grinder here was the new belt. So we have the new belt and we're ready to put it together. I did pick up, I guess I did pick up a couple other things there. I got a couple different stones here. We'll probably pull this stone off of here just so that it doesn't get transported with a stone. The safest place when you're moving something is probably not right here where it can be vulnerable, strap or whatever. It doesn't matter. Something might just come loose or whatever. I clamped down, reclamped the table. You know, it's all clean and prepped. I'll probably squirt some oil and stuff over it, squirt some other oil around here. The machine removers are already underneath this, so this will probably be one of the first pieces that come over and get in front of the doorway, ready to snatch it out of here. And the ventilation system's just ready to go as well. And all the other new tooling that I got for this is already boxed up. The radius cutters, the end mill cutters, all the tooling and attachments that have been sent in for me to try out on this. And I can't wait for this thing to get set up and actually have a nice warm, comfortable spot to operate it. And the floor over there in the new building is going to be far superior than what I have to offer here for my machines. Definitely. All right, down below here, this is the original box the plasma cam came in. And of course, I'm not going to tear the plasma cam completely down. I'm just going to take it loose from the floor and drain out the water in the pit, and we're going to clean all of that, and we'll take the pit and the table over separate. I'll probably take the gantry off, the rest of the controls, and put that in a box so it doesn't get slammed around, and that's how we're going to transport the plasma cam. But the box I used to completely put Buffy in there. Buffy is sealed up in there, and that's why, or that's how it's going to get moved over there without losing a single part. Okay, over here in the corner by the front door here is my buffer. All right, and we got to disconnect some of our stuff. These are all on pedestals, so they're really kind of easy, or fairly easy, to go ahead and just shut down the power, pull the leads off, and wrap up the cord, and they're pretty much ready to go. There's not too much you can do with them, except for just making sure they're tied down while you're carrying them. And I'm not really going to box up or crate up any of these kind of things. It'll be something that can easily be put into a vehicle and get it over there. Arbor press here. That there, you can pull things apart, and you pull the handle out, and you can make things so it doesn't go flip-flop while you're over there. And same thing there. You can undo it from the base and actually set this in the bed of the truck, and then set the base beside it, and then stack it and bolt it together once you get over there. Okay, it's going to be the same thing with the Wilton. That's just short lead right to the wall right there. And this Admiral grinder, same thing right there. This is just sitting on a pedestal. This is actually the chop saw pedestal. I actually made a pedestal for my chop saw to sit up there, but I slowly made it a stage for my weld positioner, which it might actually get fixed to that. Who knows? Sometimes I just like playing with this over here on this table, and it's the right height. This table is going to go pretty much in line with the plasma table once again, because it's like the same height and stuff. But there's going to be a vehicle lift that's this is going to sit inside, and then that's going to be past the vehicle lift, and then this will probably be just about where the vehicle lift is in the new shop. And the lift can be out of the way, and then this could easily be picked up. I'll probably make a forklift rig on it somehow, to where I can come in, pull it out real quick, and use the vehicle lift if I need to, and then bring this back in and set it up for a functioning shop. Just kind of an idea that I've been kicking around and kind of planning on what's over there. But my Synchro-Wave, the Trailblazer, or the Miller-Matic 250, those are my two welding machines that I'll have in there, and the plasma cutter and the table. That's pretty much this simple little room right here is pretty much going to be what's in that 18 by 29. This right here is basically 12 by 24. So we're going to be exceeding this work area already as a weld area. So, you know, this kind of, but it's got the vehicle lift in it. So you got something that's might be dual purpose, and it might also be in the way of each other. We'll see when we get over there. This has been on my brain for a month and a half or so, because I was pretty meticulous how I put this thing together, and it's a neat package. How can I dismantle this and get it over there and get it back set up the easiest way? Of course, the basic frame, table, and cabinets, that's the easy part. How are we separating the controller from the machine? Monitor's easy. You just pick that up and put it in the back seat of your car or whatever, you know, so that's not the issue. But the issue is breaking this down so you got at least a couple different components to where it can be moved easy, because you can't just pick this thing up. And of course, I've even attached it into the ceiling and stuff just because of the situation, which it'll adapt to the new area. That's our talent, right? All right. I finally realized that all I got to do is break loose all the motor ends, the spindle end, do all the rough dismantle from here, and then coil the leads back and wrap them up to the control panel, and then leave everything inside the panel perfectly alone, and then we can just reassemble it back in the other direction. And that's how we're going to be able to break this down and get this on over there. All right. And I still haven't made my trash run around this room, and there is a lot of trash in this room. But there's also a few other things, mostly things that haven't been condensed. And there's also a lot of tools that are set up that I've been collecting since the toolbox giveaway to continue giving away. So I want to make sure that those things come along with us, and who knows, we might have a surprise toolbox giveaway, or we'll incorporate it with somebody else that's putting on a toolbox giveaway. So anyway, it definitely will feed back into the community one way or another. So I have a few things I haven't packaged up yet. I got my flying fish, and we'll package those up so they don't get damaged and get them on over there. So they are on the website now, and they are available, and they can ship out, and like 2 days anywhere in the United States there, I get it to you. All right, let's go take a look at the machine shop in there. Okay, if it wasn't for the low opening, or it's an 8-foot slider. I'm going to be pulling the frame out, and everything's going to go out that 8-foot slider. Everything came in this 8-foot slider, with the exception of the hydraulic press, and that came in that roll-up door before it actually was mounted as a wall, and all the track and all of that was taken out. The sibling drill press was assembled in here. It was brought in here and assembled in 2 pieces, and it has a split line right here. You have a counterweight in here, and that counterweight has a locking bolt here. So you lower the counterweight down into a position, and you tighten up the lockup bolt there, and it stays in there locked up. You can undo the chain. You have this linkage here to break loose, and this main spindle there, and of course you pop off your belt. This top section comes off of here, and then this machine is only this high right here, and then after that it can go out that door, that opening, no problem. And I have the machinery rollers underneath the surface grinder right now, and that's what we'll move it with. It even moves the clawing lathe. All right, now the clawing lathe is pretty well set to go. Break the power loose, you jack it up, and you roll it on out of here. You do anchor down, your accessories. You can lock down the table if you want. The main thing I've got to do is take off the tracer attachment, which is just basically 4 bolts, and then that tracer unit sits, coiled up, leads coiled up, and it sits on a pallet, and the tank just goes along. So you have the tank and the head, and you don't necessarily have to break loose any of your hydraulics, and if you're careful enough, the hydraulic fluid does not come out of the tank. So it's pretty simple. In fact, right now I'm machining a pair of shafts, which I thought were going to be the last thing that I put in here before my move, but if we have an extended stay here because the electricians, or the power company is not capable of coming out and getting the 3-phase service and to the pole itself, that may be an issue. The hydraulic press, you can see that this edge here, and you see the doorway opening there. Even when I pull all of this stuff off the top of here, it still will not go out the opening. So what we'll do is I make a platform here. I get up here and I drain it, take all the hydraulics off, pull the valve assembly off. So all we have is the bare frame. Once we have just a bare frame, I lower the tabletop all the way down to the bottom. So all the weight's down there at that one end, and then we lay it over on its side, and then it goes out the door. Once it goes out the door, then it can stand up if it wants to be, or continue to transport it over there laying down to stand it up, and then go in the building standing up. Then go ahead and reassemble it. And I go bam bam, but it within a couple hours you can have it prepped and ready to go out of here. So it's not a big, heavy, time consuming item. It just takes a little bit of finesse on getting the things down off of there. I've done it before with a little staging type of thing up here, and you got plenty of room, and it's not too heavy to manhandle each individual little component there with 2 guys. All right. So besides the hydraulic press, removing this, the sibling drill press, remove the camelback top there, the clawing lathe, pull off the tracer attachment, the X-carve, you break all the leads going to all the functions on the table, coil those up on the controller, dismantle the controllers, and then carry those out separately. We've already got Buffy in the box. Debbie, I may decide to go ahead and pull the readout and the pickups on the X and Y for that. Just so many times I've seen mills moved with readout, and it ends up getting broken, and I just hate to do that. I'm gonna take a hard look at it, and I'll make a decision whether I pull it off, put it in the car, and take it over there personally, and then reassemble it. Hey, all right, I brought you over to the new place to show you updates, and it looks quite a bit better than the first time around. You've seen it, and I popped in over the last week, and a couple different things have happened. So it's actually pretty well cleared out of here now. There's not too much stuff in here, a little bit of insulation left, and the guys have got some working tools and stuff like that in here. So this door is in actually really good shape, and it's just super easy. It's not connected right now because the electrical's not there, but you're able to roll it up and down. It's a fairly brand new door, and the R factor is quite improved from what was here before. The ceiling is all 100% brand new. In fact, you can see the garage door opener is disconnected and stuff there. But the ceiling fabric itself, wall to wall, and then insulation is blowing in above it, and it's anchored down, and we'll still be able to carry our electrical over the top of that. And I've still got enough height in this whole area right here so that sibling drill press can run at its maximum height. And I picked the right spot for my hydraulic press, and I think it's going to be fine in here. I just have that cylinder that sticks up, and as long the beam is the lowest spot here. Of course, I'm not going to put it in the middle of the room right underneath there. But everything is cleared off of the wall here now. You can see that all the drywall and everything else that was trashed, either by nails, shelves, and things like that, they got ripped out and pulled off. So it's getting cleared right down to the wall, so everything could be a brand new surface for Wright's stuff to be put on the wall. Let's cruise along over here, and of course this area in here was damp, moldy, and all of that stuff has been removed, and that drywall has been patched in there. And of course the new panel is going to be coming in here, and that's the main, the power coming in here is going to drag us down the most, cost wise and time wise, just because Eversource is whatever they are doing, it's not in the hurry up mode, that's for sure. All right. So we're gonna be bringing our panel in the same here, because the path to get here from the pole with the 3-phase on it is going to be the shortest, and this is going to be, we're just going to carry it in the same location. So this will be taken out and the other one will be put in. Okay, dampness still just lightly getting out of this, but there's a complete brand new rubber roof on there, so everything is slowly drying out. And of course this is cleaning up really fast, and they're starting to clean up the walls along here. In fact, there's no more wood structures, shelves, and that kind of thing on here, so we're getting down to bare walls, and that's what we really want. We want the whole thing to be bare, so that our shelves are, we'll probably put some of my artwork up there, but there'll be shelves, calendars, you know, all the typical wall stuff that's going to be along there. We want to keep it to where it's not too, there's going to be some shelves, but we don't want too much clutter on the walls. Okay, so this is looking pretty clean. They've got the wood shelves and stuff like that were kind of like all put up along here. They got those all stripped off. All right, there's a little bit of dampness right in this area right here, but that's drying up because now the rubber roof is completely done on the outside. We're going to go look at the lip. They even got a gutter on this place here. Now, originally, there was a hot water tank up here for the bathroom, and that pipe burst. So that water, before they got the ceiling done, that water came and sprayed this whole area. That's why we were all wet in here. And it also, it went over the top. And then some of that water that was actually coming down from the other side, there was some condensation, but there was some water that was still left over from that thing just spraying all over the place. So it was still dripping over there as well. So we're going to replumb the hot water in there. We're probably going to mount that tank and everything else above the bathroom on the other side, so it's not taking up floor space or any valuable space to put the machinery. Now, the big lathe is going to be coming in over here, pointing in. The headstock is going to be that way, so I can run my stands out in the middle of the floor. And I think I want to put my mills somewhat just a little bit out from this wall, with the tables all angling in this direction. So I'm going to go 1 and then 2, and I think the sibling drill press is going to go in this corner. It's kind of like how it's looking. I want to be able to take my rolling gantry that's inside the shop, be able to get it around my machines. So I'm kind of playing with that design or that area. Remember, I got that small lathe that's going to come into this area here. And I'm not quite sure about my shaper. I mean, I like the little guy, but I don't know. So I know we're going to have the closing lathe over there, and I'm going to have the mills right in here. The small lathe and the hydraulic press are probably going to go here, not over there. I've got the little shaper, but I'm not sure where she's going to go. I actually might, I might put her up for sale. We're still thinking on that, so don't get hopes up yet. So I kind of got the gist of that little amount of machines so far, and we're going to plan out the rest. All right, let's take a walk out into here. All right, here's a nice depth shot. You're right at the door edge there, and I'm 29 feet back from you. Car lift right there in the middle. Plasma table probably come out about here. So whether we'll actually be able to use the lift with the plasma table in position is kind of questionable. We'll see how that goes. And this is going to be the welding area. All right, this is looking up at the pole. So we got three-phase transformers already there. So you know, it's kind of hard to say why we can't get the electric company out here. Why it's not a doable thing in a time frame that we need, but we got to work with their time frame. So we got 2 meters in here, so we're going to come down, make the meter, and then this is where we're going to go through this garage and into the bay where the shop is going to be located at. Now you can see up along the edge, that's all new drip lip and everything else, and it's all new, brand new rubber roof up here. All right, here's looking at the new gutter run, little drain down. So everything's all finished up on the top here. So we're not going to have that leaking problem. All right, that door rolls up that way. This one here goes on up. I got a nice little cubby here to get out of the weather when I come to work. I'll lock the door, whether it be raining or snow or whatever. Also, if somebody wanted to drop off some parts, put a note or whatever, I'll have things fixed up so that can happen for my customers that want to drop off something when I'm not here. All right. So at least there's a little look, little bleach, take that moss off the door, and we should be good to go. We're probably going to pour a slab on the outside there. Paul, our landlord, was talking about giving us a place outside where we'll be able to do the shaft straightening. So we'll exceed a little bit outside the building here as well. So anyway, let's head on back to the old shop. Well, it was enjoyable going over there and seeing how much is being done, and the landlord's definitely jumping on it and getting things taken care of. It is hard to accept the fact that Eversource is going to drag their feet on getting progress done for my three-phase going into there. I mean, you looked up at the pole, there's 3 transformers up there, and I have ready, able-bodied electrician permits, everything else to get things rolling, and yet it's, you know, I just got the word, could be up to 2 months. But here at Turn Right Machine Works, I can jump right on your job because I still have power here, and you can bring your work on in and we'll get it done. I have 3 or 4 jobs going on right now, and I still have to take care of the clapper head. I need to finish that up and get that back off to the customer, and I probably will just start really spending some time on detail packing of what needs to go over there. And I'm doing pretty good about being on my throw out mode there and giveaway mode. You know, you look at the clean new spot and you know the machines are coming over. In fact, a friend brought over a pressure washer so I can rinse off my machines and stuff like that going over there. I also had somebody suggest painting the floor, and it's a darn good idea. And you're right. When's the best time to paint the floor? When nothing's on the floor. And so they got some crew over there, and it's going to work from the ceiling on down. When we get to the floor, we'll jump on over there, and I think we'll probably roll out some kind of flooring on there. I don't really know and haven't really inquired on what might be the most durable surface to put down. I'm going to run my rubber mats, so I'm always going to be on the rubber mats wherever my workstation's at. You've got to keep and be polite to your feet. That's the number one rule as far as being a machinist and operating machines. You've got to be comfortable. You're going to stand most of your life. So, you know, you might as well be on rubber mats. Back in the old days, it used to be wooden slats. And, my beginning of my career, the old-time machinists had wooden slat runs in front of the lathes, and they were comfortable. They were really nice, and they put a barrier between the cold concrete floor, and also they were flexy, spongy. They were good. But the high-tech rubber mats now supersede everything. In my mind, they're really nice. So until the next video, get her done.